Hey, Austin, could you click
That's a
on
bright
that?
one too.
Turn it off.
No,
Albino
like go to
eye.
the home screen or something. See if it says anything.
It says Chromecast at the top, HDMI 3.
I'm not fixed on it yet.
Can we turn it off and on?
No. I knew I should have done this earlier.
Yeah, Mike Derby.
He came
some
down and
reason.
told me I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. You know, he, for all the grief that I give him about how difficult he can be in his travels, if he's not that bad, but, he had said for that thing Saturday, he said, we're gonna bring our PA down, and he contacted the other place before. So he
No, I mean,
contacted
is there a
everybody else and
copy
said,
of
we'll
it?
bring our PA, we'll set it up and around, you don't have to worry about it.
I probably
Hey,
told
he
you
knew
this.
DJ.
I bet you I told you.
I know he's
okay.
gonna have some stuff to play later.
Yeah.
But, I said, that was very
I'm
considerate.
like hoarding all your
He said,
papers.
"Now we have to
Take them to the
I
email.
don't need all of this stuff.
That group of bitch
Here's
lords,
a notepad. I
they
got some-
showed up and they're like, oh
Drawings
yeah, they started
I
kind of hanging out in the
made.
alley. It was like, so what are you doing? We're still trying to set the PA up. What time are you
I
guys
just want to make
playing?
myself a note.
Well, then that time yet. I just said, I walked over there and I was like, yeah,
we need it.
what do they call the ditch noise, the twitch noise or something? We told them
Picture
we
it.
had to get out here till we're done. I'm like, so, welcome to Aurora. You ran
Austin,
the
you got
first
your
back
stuff on
off and you green lighted them to come back in. I said, you know, just like the ultimate compliment slap in the face at the same damn time. But he said, well, we didn't need him down here tripping over stuff. What am I supposed to do?
That was impressive.
This was,
It was a great
That was
day.
amazing.
Give Main Street
All right, let's get the September city council meeting to order, and then following the pledge of allegiance, we're gonna have Madison with the Faith Walkers Ministry do our prayer.
Very good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, I thank you for letting us be able to gather in our country that we are free to have free speech in, and I just pray that you would be with all of those in power and that you would direct the decisions to be wise ones that would be furthering to our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Madison. Looks like roll call, looks like everybody's here, except for Josh, chief, we've got Clint stepping in for him, and we have our Miss Beautiful Nancy sitting over there for Main Street, so. All right, you wanna do the Title VI?
Title VI, as a recipient of federal funds, the City of Aurora offers a voluntary survey to gather statistical data regarding participants and beneficiaries of its federal aid programs and activities. The survey is to gather information about the populations affected by City of Aurora activities. If you need these surveys, I have them in my office. Also, just so you're aware, we're on camera. This is being live streamed to YouTube. You're welcome to watch it there as well and after the meeting.
All right. Let's do our department head updates. David, you wanna lead us off with DMS?
Last month we had 148 runs. Most of those were 6-person or 12 calls. Put us up to a total of 1,073 for 2025 so far. We have 3 new EMTs in training, including the new hire that we got out of the last year county class. We have 1 new intern. We have both of them are both the interns we have right now are planning on taking the fall class in Ripley County for their EMT. We attended the South Dearborn opening home game, was 2 weeks ago, so we're happy to get up there. We attended the new season's annual community celebration, thanking Sherry for everything, the Dunkin' Booths, raised a lot of money, did about $724.
Good deal. Very good.
Thank you for everyone that got it, Dunkin' Booth. It was cold, but
It was a
we
little
really
chilly.
appreciate it. We had a good time hanging out.
It's a little chilly, a little staffy.
Thank you, Pam, for volunteering with us. We got our Dodge back in service. So far, so good on the new motor. So we'll see what happens. Farmer's Fair plans, plan on doing our biscuits and gravy again. We made with whole hog sausage from local. We got Funny Farm coffee, biscuits from the little farmer's market out in Hillsboro. And then we
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to recognize two of our employees, one of our full-time employees, Devin Bowling, if you want to come up, and one of our part-time employees, Trent Martin. Sure, most people probably read or heard about it on Facebook. On Monday, August 25th, at 8:09 p.m., emergency crews were dispatched to a residence on Lincoln Street for a house fire with reports of an individual trapped inside. Our EMS crew responded alongside the Aurora Police Department, Aurora Fire Department, and other fire department agencies. Aurora EMS crews immediately requested UC Air Care to provide advanced medical transport for the entrapped resident if needed. The first EMS unit arrived at 8:12, so 3 months later, along with Aurora PD officers, to find smoke emerging from the bottom apartment of the residence. Police officer quickly made verbal contact with the individual trapped inside. On the other side of the door, he forced entry, where they found heavy smoke was present throughout and an active fire in the rear of the bedroom. EMS personnel working alongside the officer attempted to reach the patient, though initially forced back by smoke. They re-entered and was able to drag him out to safety. So for that, we want to award you guys and training for extraordinary bravery. Thank you guys. Definitely glad to work through. Thank you guys.
Great.
Well, thank you guys for everything you do. I know it's part of your job and everything, but the people you save, we really do appreciate it. So, thanks again. All right. Dave, you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had 56 runs for the month. You guys can see the different ones we had. 40 runs was in the city, 5 in Center Township, 8 in Washington Township. 6 in Gillsville was a structure fire, and Lawrenceburg was a structure fire. We'll be Thursday nights, the 9/11 program, we'll be there for that. It'll be a very busy month. Farmers Fair is coming, fire prevention the same week. There will be a crew 24 hours a day from Tuesday night till Saturday night, around the clock, but we do fire prevention every day also. Haunted house starts on the 10th to November 1st. It's every Friday and Saturday. Then we have our chicken fry coming up in November 2nd. Other than that, the officer and the 2 EMTs will be awarded by me at a later date. I have put them in for the Medal of Valor for the state of Indiana. So I'm just waiting to hear back from the state, and hopefully they will receive that sometime in November or December. So I've already talked to the fire marshal. The gentleman has made it, and very smoky and hot. So if they all 3 went above and beyond the call of duty, they can't get that medal that fast. So, but they will be getting some. So other than that, everything is looking good. I got the pump test done, and a couple of FPA inspections. Get the fair out of the way. It'll be good.
What all you having with your chicken up there?
Corn, green beans, mashed potatoes, a roll, and desserts. So it's not all you can eat. It's a 4-piece dinner, so we used to do all you can eat. So we're not doing that. that, and it's only from 11 to 4. We used to do it from like 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock or something like that, so it's going to be reduced hours. We'll be getting a flyer out here soon, and, yeah, that'll be November the 2nd.
Chalk it up.
And the mayor's frying the chicken, so it is excellent. Absolutely.
Oh, is he really?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And if nobody has any questions, or before I'm gonna leave, I've gotta go to the police academy, so I'm an old fellow, so I'm gonna drive up tonight, so I'm not driving in the morning, dealing with traffic. So, if nobody has anything, if it's okay, I ask you today
Yeah,
if I can
absolutely.
leave.
Has anybody got anything for Chief before he takes off?
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep, thanks. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I know.
Yep, nope. Good.
All right, guys, I'll go through the stats real quick. Traffic stops, we had 168, 17 incarcerations, 20 crashes, 36 cases, 438 calls for service. There's our breakdown of the miles. We have 2 new bike officers who just went through bike school, so that's good. I brought the drone in here. I'm not going to fly that. Just so you're aware. But that's just the newest addition to the department. We're excited about that. So I was going to just a quick shout out. This was yesterday, so these are some guns we got on the street on a recent drug call. So
Wow.
just be aware. I mean, we're doing everything we can do with this drug and the guns. We had a gun incident today where a female pulled a gun and pointed it at somebody's face today. So we're seeing this stuff about every day. So just be aware of that. So and we're putting in the hours and working really hard on it. So
Have you used a drone on any of these? Or?
oh yeah, countless missions. I don't have the stats on how many times we've deployed that, but we've used it a lot already. So we appreciate all the support from the city.
Okay. Other places are calling around for it too.
Yeah, it's been used in the homicide investigation here in Aurora for the sheriff's department. We've been used to track suspects. We've been used to take photos. Used for a lot of calls so far. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you planning on using it at Farmers Fair?
So we do plan to do like an outer security type, just surveillance with it.
Okay.
So you'll see it. We just have to be careful on flying it over groups of people. So we will be using it somehow. So.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Thanks, Clint. Anybody got anything for Clint? Nope. All right, let's move on to Miss Nancy.
At your seat, you'll find a collage from Music on the Porch that we had at the end of last month, as well as membership support information. When you make a donation to Main Street Aurora, it helps to support our special events and public relations and revitalization of downtown. So we certainly ask for your support for your city. Since the last August council meeting, we did have Get Wined and Dined in August on the 15th. We had a tour of Aurora historic churches downtown. And as I said, play music on the porch. We thank Councilman Hahn for playing again for the 3rd year. And for Clerk Treasurer Turner for volunteering his time, as well as all of those that attended that day. We appreciate it. There were 28 musical groups and consisted of over 70 individual musicians that played that day. There were 16 volunteers that helped throughout town, just welcoming the musicians when they came. And they donated approximately 75 hours just on that Saturday. And at the end of August, it brings our volunteer hours for the year to 1,575 volunteer hours. Upcoming is our Ghost Walk, October 23rd and 24th, and I already have reservations for those. And Hollow Wine is October 24th, and on the heels of that is Miracle on Main Street. So Christmas is coming.
Yeah, I like that music on the little music you had on the porch there. Brought the golf cart down. It was really nice because I could just pop and check them all out. I listened to a couple here, a couple songs here. It was really cool. There's a lot of talent. I know Terry's used to being the main talent there, but he's starting to get a lot more talent in. He might have to step his game up, get a little monkey or something.
Well, I'm happy to see him come. I was happy he had the golf cart because the mayor went ahead and helped stop traffic so I could back out. They were so busy, people coming and going and everything. If he hadn't been there with that, I'd have still been sitting there, and so would, what's the name in front of me? He would have been blocked in too.
Well, I know, but it was really busy. People walking everywhere. It was really cool.
That event has become just in 3 years, really, really cool. It's,
We've thoroughly enjoyed it too. Already looking forward to next year.
heck yeah,
Well, has anybody got anything for Main Street? Nancy?
keep it up.
Little monkey Terry can use when he plays now?
What?
We got to
I
step it
don't
up.
have an organ
man.
grinder or
We gotta
anything
step
like
it up. All right. What do we got here? Department figures, monthly financial report.
We'll wait until the public hearing on the budget, which is only a couple lines down.
Oh, goodness. All right. Can we get approval of the August claims? Has everybody had a chance to look at the claims?
I have, I so moved to approve.
Terry, second. Jonee, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Everybody got a chance to look at the minutes from last month?
Yes.
Get approval for those?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Cherry? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Well, redistricting, who's this gonna go to?
You give it to me. The issue is that there's the reference to a new code statute saying that we had to certify. So basically, what I asked for council to do is not to redistrict completely, but just to recertify the list that we have. And so I've talked to Connie at the auditor's office about this issue. And so we, of course, can file something to get it certified. So we're not in defalcation of the statute or whatever. So, but I would ask council to give me that authority to certify our districts as they are. It is something, the next election, their 2030 census, when that comes out with the new annexation we're hoping to acquire, we'll probably kick it a little bit. I think Sherry's going to be adding about 30 or 40 constituents to her part, so we'll probably have to take a look at it then. Plus, if we have any other development in the area, we'll probably have to relook at it in the next 5 years. But right now, we certify, just keep moving forward. So I asked for that request that you give me the authority to recertify our current districts.
You need a motion.
I need a motion.
I'll motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, council.
All right. Is this where you jumped in again?
I guess so, but I tell you, I just can't get a connection to the display. So everybody's gonna have to listen to me, talk a little bit. If you want, I do have a couple copies of the presentation. They're on the podium. This is the public hearing on our 2026 budget. Looks at it from a very high level, and it just kind of says, hey, this is the money that we're asking for. This is what we think it's going to take to operate our budget next year. This is what we're asking the taxpayers for, and this is kind of where the money's going from a very high level. The way we put this together is we look at the budget through an 18-month cycle. We stop at June 30th, and we say, here's how much money we've got in the bank account right now. Here's how much money we think we're going to get over the next 6 months. Here's how much we have already appropriated within the budget for this year for those 6 months, and that gets you to the end of this year, and then you look at next year, and you say, okay, this is how much we're going to get from non-property tax revenues. And then you start to do this dance of, okay, this is how much we're going to spend, and this is how much we can raise from the property taxpayers. So there's a little bit of a dance there that goes on to make sure that that works out, that we have the money coming in, because we are limited on the amount of money that we can ask for from property taxes. So we started to put that together. Our total budget, and this is counting all the different funds. This is looking at not only the general fund, which is where the property taxes are, but it's also looking at gaming. It's looking at, heck, the redevelopment commission's budget. Their spending plan is kind of included here, at least from a high level. Our endowment funds, the Department of Parks, Motor Vehicle Highway, which is all of your streets. And then there's another set called Local Roads and Streets, which is a little bit different, but But our total budget currently is set at $5,473,689, which is down slightly from the current year's budget. We don't have quite as much capital projects going on within the gaming. But of that 5.4 million, 46% of it is the general fund. That is your property taxes that are supporting things. It's also local income taxes, public safety distributions, and things like that that really do most of the services we provide. Your street department, your police department, fire, a lot of that's doing that. The next big chunk is probably our gaming. That accounts for 30% or so of the total 5.4 million. That is that's being reined in quite a bit this year. It was, I think last year, our budget was like 2.2. This year it'll be about 1.7. And there are some things that go on, there's things that flow through that's not quite how much gaming revenue we get, but it's built into there. And then the next bigger piece of the pie is the Department of Parks. Its budget has actually gone up to about $500,000. Most of that they're able to generate through their own revenues, as far as memberships to the Ark, entry to the Ark, the pool revenues, renting the pavilion and the civic center, those kinds of things generate a lot of their revenues that support them. The breakdown as far as which departments it goes to, which is a little bit different, and this is always one that's a little bit, it's a little bit squishy, because you take something like the clerk treasurer, it says I've got 3% of the budget. Well, kind of, but that 3% includes the tax bill that I get each year. So if you take that out, my budget shrinks. A big chunk of it is, the biggest chunk is city council, town board. Your guys are the ones that are getting those things. But that's also kind of, sort of. Board of Public Works, that's the street department. That looks like it's getting a big chunk of the pie, but it's because it's got all of your motor vehicle highway money. Everything that we're putting towards like a community crossings project and street repairs and things is going into there. So it's not necessarily going to just the street department guys. But that's, I kind of show that in the breakdown just to show you which departments are kind of in the driver's seat on those things. The bigger thing is the next chart, which I break down by the categories. Where does the money go? And our biggest categorical expense is personal services, our employees. That and the benefits, that is the biggest driver of where our budget is the people that we employ to deliver the services to the citizens. That's about 46%. Services and charges is where we're paying other people to do things for us. And it's also things like insurance bill, things like that, things we have to get from somewhere else, things we can't just do on our own. We have a small bit in supplies, that includes like fuel for the vehicles. And then we've got a very small amount in capital. Just for repairs. I know we're looking at possibly the roof getting looked at this year. This building's roof is about 20 years old, and every 20 years or so you got to give it a little bit of love. We do have about 10% of the budget is going towards debt service. A lot of that is being paid through gaming dollars, but probably about half of it is actually the drive-by meter project that we did. The utility is actually paying us. They pay us for that, but the bank, when they gave us the money, they said, hey, we want to make sure we see that on your city's budget. So they see it on there, but it's not necessarily coming from property tax dollars or anything else. It's being paid for through the revenues of the utility. And getting to how we generate most of our property tax dollars, you got to look at our assessed valuation. And on this one, I've got that line chart that shows two different lines. There's a blue line and a red line, and I'm sorry, you guys can't see it. I'm going to do this. This is our assessed valuation since about 2015 to today. It's kind of gone up like this on the chart. it's growing, but not, not gangbusters. We know that, you can just look around and see, there's not a lot of big new buildings going up or anything. The other chart is our tax levy. That's the amount of money we're asking for from the property taxes. And that number, that line looks a little more like this. We're having to ask for more. Now, the thing is, you can only ask for so much. The state actually caps us at 4% growth. So we're gonna only ask for 4% more than the prior year. One of the reasons we have to ask for more every year is because of everybody's favorite thing in Indiana. And the thing that Ohio's starting to look at to do for themselves is the property tax caps. Your property taxes, if you're a homeowner in Indiana, you get capped at 1% of your valuation, which is great. It makes it nice to know I have a ceiling, I'm not gonna pay more than this. That means we just have to ask for more. And then that's where that other line chart comes in, which is kind of the impact of those on us. In 2014, these were enacted in 2010, property tax caps were. In 2014, we were taking a haircut of about 11%. So whatever we asked for, we got 89% back. This most recent year, the new legislature up at the State House passed SB 1, which gave you another kind of separate credit to your property taxes. So you're going to get some savings, up to maybe $300, but when everybody's getting $300, that means we're taking a little bit bigger of a haircut. Our lost revenue from property taxes, and I say it's lost revenue, I mean, it's staying within the community. It's not a bad thing, but it is money that we're missing out on. It is probably about 33%. So we're gonna ask for $2 million on the property taxes. We will receive a little over $1.3 million. So there's $675,000 that's just kind of staying with everyone in the community. Not a bad thing, but it makes it more difficult to pay for all those other things that we do, all the services that we do. So the mayor asked, he said, hey, I only heard it was going to be a $125,000 hit, that SB 1. And that is, but it's on top of those caps we already were getting hit by. So we're already at, this year, it's about $500,000 or so that we're not getting through circuit breaker credits and everything. And next year it's going to be about $675,000. So, and you got to think, once you hit your 1%, well, you're at your 1%. You're not going to get, I can't ask for anything more. So, so that's kind of where we're at on the budget as it stands now. Those budget lines that you see for the different funds, they can't go any higher. They can go lower. I think that Austin has said, hey, I think, we can ease up some of the general fund with some moves here and here, just sliding some things around. But it is going to be a time where, we're entering in a time that we just need to be very thoughtful about how we approach spending and our finances. And so it's just, we've got some opportunities that are coming, and I think that we can almost make this budget work, but we'll have to do some maneuvers. Over the next month, we will have those discussions. Those things will happen. This is the public hearing on the budget. I'm not going to ask for any more than what you've seen or heard. But that's kind of where we're at. The next meeting of council, Monday, October 13th, Columbus Day, we will have the budget presented for adoption. And at that point, should it be adopted, I'll submit it to Gateway and County Council for final approval. Are there any questions on the budget or anything that I've said that you've had to just rely on my beautiful words and had no visuals? I apologize. Any questions? Any questions from council?
Well, I appreciate the work that you put into it each year as we go through this process, and
Well, I appreciate that. It's,
well, don't let it go to your head. I'm not trying to.
it's not an easy task. This year's a little bit easier because, you know, it's kind of, well, here's what's available. Let's do what we've been doing. We don't have a lot of latitude to get too creative, so.
No, but to your credit, I know we had this discussion as part of public hearing. Everybody should be kind of interested to some extent in how does the city operate its finances to provide the public safety and utility services, and then the basic services such as streets. But Betty, you know, leans into this and gave everybody the opportunity to get involved early. So Austin, same thing, put him on the spot last week. Hey, you got some time, we can look over a couple things. A lot of preparation going on behind the scenes, so thanks everybody who asked questions and said, how do we get to this number, or what's this piece of it look like? But there's a lot of work that goes on behind a quick talk like this. So, what do you want? No, I'm sorry,
I
Deb.
have one question. So this 675 that you're estimating that you need to bridge that gap?
That number, the 675, was given to me by the state. They had their eggheads go through it and kind of come up with that calculation. That number is probably a little bit conservative. They're going to hedge on, you know, telling us to budget a little bit higher, but it'll be about that.
So how do you factor into the city budget the TIF funding that's being directed to redevelopment, and then redevelopment does a budget? Does that budget factor into your budget as you look at it? Because we can absorb some of the costs of different projects.
I will.
Out of the city budget, how do you prepare for that? How's that get in your budget?
That is part of it, because I mentioned the parks, and the parks is a separate fund, kind of similar to redevelopment. And in prior years, we used to fund the ARC and the operations of the parks in a very different way. And there is that part of it. You kind of think, well, wait, they're going to need this to operate the, in the pool. We had a couple of years without a pool. When it came back, it was like, oh, wait, we have to think about what's the revenue's going to be? What's that going to be? How's that going to pay for this? For redevelopment, for a number of years, it's been generating the TIF revenues, hasn't had a whole lot of planned work. As that happens, that would offset, let's say, some TIF dollars were going to be used for a project that otherwise would have been paid for through the general fund or the parks department or something. Or I didn't want to like get too excited, but if you did some public safety things, it could offset that, and then that kind of eases up the burden.
Are you able to factor that into the budget you present to the state? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You say
as long as
we might not have these funds, but we think we're going to get them through redevelopment.
That's where, that's where they say, well, what's your redevelopment fund balance? What are your projected revenues for it?
Right.
What are their plans? And if that balances out, they're okay with, oh, well, yeah, they're doing this.
So will you submit those both at the same time?
Yeah, we submit everything all at once. When I first started, we actually did everything together except for the gaming budget. We would do the gaming budget separately in February or something. I didn't like that. It kind of, to that point, you do this process of building the budget, and then you say, okay, well, let's do the budget again. You're forgetting, well, we're going to pay that through the gaming. We're going to do that for it kind of discounts that. So it's kind of best to do it all at once so that everybody kind of has the budget, which is really your plan for the coming year. Do it all at once. Not going to help.
Benny? Just another point on that. One thing that we did to track TIF spending this year is in gaming, we had an appropriation actually called redevelopment TIF dollars. And we put a certain amount on that and asked council to approve it under the gaming part of the budget submitted to state. So then if redevelopment decided they were going to spend money out of TIF, when I wrote the requisition, I would do it out of gaming, out of redevelopment TIF appropriation. And that's another good way that we kind of tracked what was coming in and out and how it was affecting the general
That
fund.
makes sense. I was just trying to connect the dots of how you put those two things together. Because as one goes up, the other one goes down, we got to bridge it out somehow.
Yes, sir.
What's the estimation of the amount of savings that the city has on hand?
I would say, gaming has probably about, $1.5 million in savings. The rainy day fund has about $300,000. Rainy day was, my first year was the last year we were actually able to just put some money into that. Since then, we've kind of, we've been spending more out of general fund than we've brought in revenues. It's just that circuit breaker was just kind of taking little bites out of it at a time. This budget kind of helps to balance it, so it's balanced a little bit more. It's, you know, we're only gonna be spending what we're bringing in. But it took a little bit of time to kind of right that ship. But yeah, we've got, I would say, I know that there's one very large CD that we have in the gaming, and then there's another kind of chunk. So yeah, about 1.5, and then the 300,000 for rainy day. Rainy day has actually bailed us out this year a little bit, as our general fund balance has gone down, because we start the year kind of low and we don't get that first deposit of property tax dollars until May. So we kind of have to rely on that float a little bit, which it worked out. But you can only do that for so long before, you know, it kind of catches up with you. So this year, you know, this year will be a little bit tighter, a little bit leaner. But that's by design, and we needed to get there. Any other questions? Yeah.
No, I was gonna say,
Nah,
any more
no.
questions for you?
If not, I think I'm done for the evening.
Well, you do a very good job at that, I will give
Well,
you that.
I appreciate it.
All right, I believe this is Mr. Eubank.
No, appreciate it. Council, today, as everyone knows, we're moving into the final end game of our annexation here. The one step that we have to take prior to actually enacting a annexation ordinance is passing a resolution, a fiscal impact resolution. So I sent that to you by email, just to make sure everybody understands what it is that if you're going to annex, you have to come up with how are you going to pay for these different improvements, what improvements are you promising, and the like. So basically, I'll start real quick what we're going to be promising. We've got non-capital municipal services, and that's going to be fire, EMT, police, and the like, street services where necessary in that area. And so those are your non-capitals. Those are like soft costs that we're expanding services already there. The big capital expenditures is where you really get into some dollars and cents. That is we're putting in a much larger water line there, so we can build some fire hydrants for safety. It's going to reduce a lot of people's insurance in that area. Part two, we're increasing the sewage pipe, or the sanitary sewage pipe in that area, to handle a greater flow of effluents, I guess. More sewage is great. We're going to be looking at some of the drainage issues in the area. That would be something we take under. We are also going to be increasing the gas line. So basically it's going to be a complete update of all of our utilities, plus adding hydrants and everything else like that. How we're going to pay for it. So the way we're going to pay for it is, one, through possibly TIFing is put in this. Other is regular budgetary issues, taxes, and the other issues. But pretty much what I did is I opened it up to any ways available that we could pay for it as part of this fiscal impact. So that's it. Timetable and level of services. One of the issues is that we have 3 years to get solidly going on these projects, meaning you can't really wait till day 2 years and 364 days. You have to be in the midst of a project to keep going. So this is something that this council is probably gonna have to look at, make sure we're funding these big utility jobs and the like. We will have some TIF money, but that in the next 3 years is part of our promise to annex. So I would ask, if I could, for a motion to pass this resolution named resolution number 2025-15. And for what I'd really like to do is, prior to passing that, I call for a vote, of course it has to be unanimous, that we be allowed to pass this on one vote. So basically, can I get a motion that we pass this after one reading?
I'll motion to pass it on one reading.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Yeah, sure.
The brakes on this a little bit too, and I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to go through your email that closely.
Sure.
On this. I mean, the resolution is just to go ahead toward the commitment that if annexation is successful.
You got
we are-
it. This
we're
is not
prepared.
this is not an annexation
Yeah, I
statute,
was
this is
gonna
just a
say, 'cause
plan.
At this point, with
Yes.
the last public hearing, that opens up the window for
Sure.
additional public comment if there's concerns and, okay.
Yeah, and just to Terry's point, I think that, I think we have annexation, we're gonna talk about this sometime, but no, maybe not. In any event, the annexation ordinance, which we are gonna introduce today for the first reading, that is going to be this fiscal impact study, the drawings, everything is going to be there at a public hearing that we're planning to have probably late October. So we'll have the big hearing late October. Hopefully it's a robust talk. We're going to have all our plans out there.
That's fine.
But,
I got my cart.
well, I just want to make sure
horse a
everybody
little
knows,
bit,
because
but,
we do have a lot of people who are interested in that annexation, Terry, so I think it's a good question.
There's,
Any other
there's no
questions?
bad questions on that topic.
There's no bad questions. So any other questions or anything like that? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
I think you had everyone, I'd be.
Everyone aye?
proceed with
Okay.
the resolution.
So now we'll go to the second one. Motion to pass resolution number 2025-15. For this to be passed on first go, there must be a 2/3 majority of council. I call for a motion to approve resolution number 2025-15. There we go.
I make a motion to approve 2025-15.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right, see nothing against me. Please sign the handout and I'll keep going here. What else we got, Pat? We got annexation?
Done with that.
Same subject.
Water rate ordinance.
Okay, so the next one, this is the water rate ordinance. Basically, what we're doing is, it's really under, let me make sure I got the right section here. Meter fee, it's gonna be C1 under this, is really what we're changing. If we've already had our hearing, we had our hearing a couple weeks ago on this. So this is actually the third reading of this. We did it one at the utility, one at council last month, and now this. But this fee is gonna create $3 fees for inside, outside, doesn't matter where you're located. Is if you're a utility customer, you're gonna be paying $3 if you have a 5/8 or 3/4 inch. Pursuant to Mr. Randy Turner, this is pretty much 90+% of everybody in the city is gonna see a $3 fee. Now, for some of our commercial customers, such as the 1 inch, 1.5 inch, all the way up to 6 inch, and we only have one customer with a 6 inch water main, those will be stepped up. And so like a 1 inch is gonna be a $750 just average monthly fee. Do I have any questions or anything about the water meter charge? I think everybody's had a chance to talk about it. Any discussion or anything like that we had?
We passed this at the utility board.
Passed to the utility board.
Did we actually pass? I didn't get this sign. Okay. I had it on my list to pass, so I apologize, guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, congratulations.
It's good to
Your-
talk about it again. That's
Your fees are good. I'll put that in my notes. I didn't have that.
If you got any questions on what size your line is, it is on your utility bill. It's a little small over like on the left side or whatever. First time I saw it, but I was actually looking for the South Dearborn reunion thing. It was on the utilities, and I kind of stumbled upon it. But it is on your utility bill, what size water meter you have. So if you got a household, it's typically a 5/8, I think, or 3/4.
Okay.
So it's $3.
Jared, do you need us to sign the ordinance? Do you not?
I don't think I didn't get one. I don't, if Benny has a signed one.
Yeah, I thought I sent it out that night, I thought, but I'll send another one here.
Well, I've got a copy here. If you guys, maybe that'd be easier. Just
Go
sign
ahead
it
and sign
today.
it, yeah.
That way we know we got it.
Let's see. Let me double check.
Thank you. Thank you. Here's this 15, and then if you guys are done, just after the mayor signs it, Benny gets that one.
Yeah, there it is. I do have it.
You got a signed copy?
I do have a signed copy. I'll send that over to you real quick, just to make sure you got it.
Excellent. All right, moving forward, we got 2 vacations up for today, not the fun kind of the fun kind. Getting rid of 2 alleys within town. The first one that we'll be getting rid of is an alley located off of Exporting Street. This alley is going to, serve our, now I'm going to screw up the acronym, but it's the Southeast Indiana,
SICPDC.
what Austin said, SIPCDCCC. Fantastic ladies. I can't get their acronym right, but it's a fantastic organization. They're going to be doing some low-income housing. When I say low-income housing, what I mean is they're building a very nice house, but selling it below market to start a starter family so they can move into Aurora. and begin. So what we're doing is we're going to be granting them a easement and then vacating the street so they can have access to their lot. So without any further ado, does anybody have any questions about this vacation? All right, I will call for a motion to pass ordinance number 2025-012, vacation of alley by exporting. Moved, I got a second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, vacation number 2.
Well, hang on just a second. So if anybody's asking about that one, what it is the program, like you said, they come out and help low-income families. Once this one house goes up, all goes well, they're wanting to build another one and keep on going. We have a few lots we're trying to get built on, so with the help of Perleberg and his Ready To money, they made it possible to where this could actually take place. Because if not, it was gonna be too expensive to build, and they had to get a lot of different funds and everything, like the city donated the land and some different things, vacations and utilities, and then it's gonna be a nice program. So hopefully we get more of them coming.
As the mayor said with those lots, I mean, going back, the city got control of a handful of these lots through what was called blight elimination program, sponsored to help encourage property owners. If they had a property, I'm not going to take care of it, I'd like to walk away from it. They had their choice on different partnership levels to do this, but the whole idea was just that blight elimination. When people come through and say, why do you have that god-awful looking structure nobody does anything with? This was be able to be proactive, encourage those people to participate with the city. If we can help you out, walk away from it, we can get hold of it, we can transition to something else, it's something new. So this particular alleyway vacation will help kind of open up access to more than one lot over time. So when you say, hey, we've got these lots, they didn't come by accident, they came by design, and the design was to get to a point like this today. So another good step.
Man, it's nice to finally get moving on it.
Nice. I was just grumbling to tell people to get off my lawn.
Yeah, George.
Oh, these homes being built, they be privately owned by the individual.
Yes, they have to be able to get a loan from the bank and everything else, but say it's a $300,000 house, they might only be able to sell it for $200,000. So if they can get the loan for $200,000, then they can buy it. So it's a way of taking a lot of money off of some of the houses.
And they make a 10-year commitment to stay there,
Yes.
like without selling the house. Or if they sell before, then they have to pay back that difference. So, you know, they're making a commitment to stay in Aurora.
And Sherry, your work on this too with redevelopment, there's a lot of work that leans into that potentially eligible borrower, that potential homeowner, to help them prepare for that. Yeah, I know.
They do classes with
Yes,
them.
yes,
They do
I mean-
budgeting classes with them. They don't just like, here's your house. They teach them how to work with their finances. It's a kind of
Right. When you get those,
program. Yeah, it's
so
really
if we go back to the days of 0%, everybody can buy a house. Well, not everybody was prepared to, you know, live up to that, or, you know, really that turned out to be more of a hurt than a help in some cases. So this is a good program.
All right. Anybody else got any questions on that program? Go ahead, Jared.
All right. Ordinance number 2025-013 is another vacation. This is the vacation of an alley that exists in a parking lot, basically the auction house. If you don't see an alley there, it's because it doesn't exist. We haven't maintained it for years. So we were petitioned to remove that, and this will be the second reading for this. Does anybody have any questions about the vacation of the alley in the old Tandy's parking lot? Seeing no questions, I would call for a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-13. It's, of course, the second reading here.
I make a motion to approve. Oh, go ahead, I'll second it, go ahead.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
Sherry.
Sherry, that's excellent. Thank you, Sherry. Thanks. All right, last one, Pat, I swear. Last one.
Last one. You're done.
You're done.
Nope, I got the annexation one. So we did the fiscal impact. This is the second part of the annexation.
Oh, you didn't do the
So
second part of the annexation.
this is the actual ordinance creating the annexed area. And so this is just first reading, but I want to make sure it's been sent to all council, but just make sure, and I think everyone saw a draft of it if you came to the public outreach meeting last week. I've been tweaking it. It's going to be continue to be tweaked as we move towards passing it, such as this fiscal impact will now be inserted. The council passed a fiscal impact study. The big issue on this, pretty much the things that we need to know is, what is this annexation area going to be zoned as? It's going to come in as R1, where of course, as soon as it comes in as R1, we're going to be shifting around, changing up some of those areas for multifamily, or to make sure that people can preserve their use. Mayor had a great idea about how to handle some of the different rules and laws in this new annex area. I think it's a pretty clever, I don't know, remedy or solution to the issue. Basically, we're going to adopt the county's ordinances and enforce them for that area. So basically, everybody coming in is going to still be governed under the same laws that they're currently governed. It just will be the enforcement body instead of the county. And that's also very confusing because we have the county doing our enforcement. So really, it's not going to be any change law-wise for anybody. Other things that this ordinance has, it is going to be assigning Sherry. That Sherry will be the person. So you can run against Sherry. We're, of course, in an at-large council. So you can now, if you're getting annexed, you can run against Sherry, I guess. So good luck. But other things, the big thing about this is we also talk about annexing the cemetery, which is a pretty cool thing. That it, the fact that it hasn't happened prior to this is kind of interesting. But we're finally taking back care of our ancestors. So I think that's kind of cool. Other things with this, we propose, of course, we basically explained this is the territory we're annexing. This is when it's going to happen. We talk about the fiscal plan and the like. Any questions about the annexation ordinance? Well, I think I beat it like a dead horse, but all right, no questions. This is just a first reading, so like as stated to your constituents, if anybody needs a copy of this, please reach out to Austin, the mayor, or me, and I'd be happy to supply you with one. Okay, thanks. Mayor, I got no, I'm going to be quiet now.
You sure there ain't something? We have the resolution down that way and the 2 vacations.
I have one of the vacations, not signed all the way, but I do need those vacation back so I can report them.
Jared, just one question with
Sure.
the annexation, seeing as how we're kind of entering that window for additional public
Yes.
input, things that, how often or when do you see the next revision to this? As you say, this is being tweaked. The
So-
fiscal study is going to be introduced to it.
So we're working with Reedy trying to get that done.
Okay.
To take a look at because as you know, Terry, what happened is we ended up getting a study back in 2022. And they're not cheap, by the way.
No, they're not.
And so, but the information got very stale.
Noticed that.
It's a year-long process to do one of these.
No, I'm just saying for the public's interest,
Sure.
if they want to say, I'd like to see what this looks like, so they don't ask the day before it gets revised again.
So there's basically,
Something that we can be
Yeah,
updating on our
Terry.
website.
there's 2 bites of the apple left on this, okay? So the first one is we're gonna have a big public hearing, right? And I hope that at that point, I'll have my final changes
Okay.
after that meeting. But there's also a second chance, let's say we go to the public hearing, we don't change anything, but all of a sudden we come to the final, which will probably be in November, the final reading of the sucker, and then we go, hey, we would like these amendments to it, in between that public hearing and the whatnot. So, like I said,
I just want to make
Well,
sure that we're doing everything we can.
I just want to make sure the public knows that
Yeah.
this is really kind of crafted from what you stated at these public outreach meetings, and that you'll have a voice once again at the main hearing. Council will be there. You can tell them, hey, this is what we want to do, and they can direct me to change or do whatever with this annexation ordinance. So,
That's my question. Thank you.
Big, beautiful meeting.
And what is the date of that meeting?
well, I haven't scheduled it yet,
Okay.
so I have not advertised. It's probably, like I said, it's going to be probably late October, after our October meeting, but before the November meeting.
Jared, do you anticipate in the ordinance to spell out sort of what the city's obligations are
Yeah.
with regard to the cemetery, like what they're going to do?
No, I don't think we got into that much detail. It's basically we are going to take over the roads. There are some public roads right there, Blockery Creek Road, and so that's something we're going to jump on immediately. When you talk about actual upkeep, there's an organization there. I believe Randy's present. And Nancy, are you also on that board?
Not anymore.
Gotcha.
I was for about 10 years.
But the issue is that, you know, it's something that now the city has a direct ability rather than it just being a non-for-profit. It's actually part of the city. So what our plans, we're not planning on putting any money into the cemetery right off the bat on the annexation, but it gives us ownership to do so if we so choose. So that's not really part of our capital improvements project.
So are we dissolving the Riverview
No.
Cemetery Association?
No, no,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Because well, it's,
I feel in
when
the
you said
dark
that
on that
word,
too.
taking it over.
No, it's going to be coming, I'll parse my words better, Benny. So what we're doing is that we're taking it within the city boundary, okay? And so, of course, you know, if you've been on the cemetery, you know there's cemetery rules and regulations for cemetery associations and whatnot. So you guys will continue to operate as you always have, but you will now be part of the city rather than part of the county. So, any other questions on that? Okay. All right, I'm done, Mayor.
Austin, you want to go with the next one? New business, park master plan?
Yeah, so SERPC, which is an organization that writes a lot of grants, does a lot of master plans, different things like that. The SIC PDC for the housing that we were talking about also falls under SERPC. They were looking to get into park master plans. They wanted to find basically a city or a town that wanted one so that they could give it a test run. I was at their board meeting and quickly stood up and said, Aurora will do it. So we got quotes for a park master plan, I believe 2 years ago, and they were ranging from $20,000 to $22,000. And since this is kind of going to be their pilot parks master plan, SERPC has offered to do it for the city of Aurora for the price of $1,000. We sat down with them at a meeting, Denise Rose and I, and we just kind of talked out what their plan would be. It seemed like they really knew what was going on. They've done master plans in the past, just not park specific. So basically we took it to the park board and said, you know, is this something you guys think we should get involved in? They unanimously voted absolutely. So parks master plans are supposed to be updated every 5 years, and it helps you get parks related grants, most specifically the DNR grant, which we currently have one through Next Level Trails for the North Side Trail. Ours is much older than 5 years. It's certainly due to be updated, so I just wanted to ask council for their blessing to move forward with $1,000 for a new parks master plan.
If you need a motion to that effect, go ahead. I would make a motion to proceed with that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much. We'll get it started.
Good timing.
We said the United Way Mural.
You want me to take it, Terry?
Any one of us probably jump in on this. The city was approached by the United Way, which is United Way Greater Cincinnati, Southeastern Indiana, about a mural project. And that they had looked at several sites in Aurora, but been clear that they wanted to do the project in Aurora if at all possible. United Way, just the cliff notes of that from where we are. Karen Snyder has been with United Way for over 20 years. She works between the office of Greater Cincinnati and Indianapolis to kind of be a little bit of a unicorn. She's a big advocate for our area. We're talking about organizations like SEIOC with kids' early education, family assistance, rental assistance, organizations like Clearinghouse, which I think, you know, that's near and dear to my heart with my involvement with them. You know, that's feeding hungry families in our community. She probably brings close to $2 million per year in her aggressive grant works through this area. So, you know, this is helping people that are out helping people. So when you're a cog in the wheel of United Way, that kind of helps keep us in a funding loop. That being said, this project was really just to celebrate that relationship here in southeastern Indiana. I guess this landed in my lap because it sounded like maybe communication has come to a head at one point, that the city had committed to say, yeah, we think this is a good idea. It looks like something we'd like to be part of. Funding was available through the facade grant program we did earlier in the year. But as we got those applications and recipients in front of council for approval that just, in an honest error, there was an omission that this project was not amongst them. It's $5,000 of a $14,000 project, and they were asking, you know, hey, we're still in this, aren't we? So we had commitment to make it happen. What we didn't have is any formal approval to say, Benny, you know, we need to go ahead and write our check to be part of this. In all fairness to Benny, you know, we've had some expenses we weren't planning on taking on, and that's impacted a lot of different funds. So I did check with our clerk treasurer's office, do we still have the funds? That answer is yes. I think even in the facade budget, we only spent $25,000 of what was allocated to be $40,000. So really this is a question of, we need a formal vote to go ahead and move forward with the project. We've got some copies of the final artist rendering of what this will look like. The mural will be on the Main Street side of the Alejandro restaurant. So that's, I guess, you know, I'll put it out there that I'd like to have a motion from council to go ahead and, you know, release our portion of the funding so that they can continue on with this. And in talking with Ms. Snyder, they still feel like there's enough fair weather ahead they can get going.
Who will keep this maintained?
Well, you know, that's a great question too, because just like on the back of Don Andrews' building, when the mural's up and everybody says it looks good and somebody says, boy, it sure ought to be taken care of. That kind of falls to who's available to do that at the time, and it becomes even more, I'm guessing, more of a partnership. I don't know that the city's ever paid full board to help with the maintenance of that, but we've helped.
Well, so I didn't know if United Way made a commitment to say, you know, the upkeep's on us, or is it on the city?
That is a great question. And
Never brought up. I was on that committee. That was never thought of, to be real truthful.
How long is this supposed to stay on this building? Here's a time.
10 years.
10 years?
So I'd imagine United Way would want to make sure it stays in good shape for 10 years, but you never know.
Then I could paint it, put my mural on it.
You could put you on it in a Trans Am or something, you know.
Tractor.
AI, we can put a picture of you on entrance.
I like that. There you go.
Debbie, you were,
I just need a clarification, because we're getting confused on this, and I apologize. Is a mural not have to go in front of HPC?
Do you want me to clarify it? I can clarify it.
Yeah,
So,
because
yeah.
it confuses me.
Absolutely. So any act by the city is not reviewable by the HPC. The city can do what it wants. So if it wants to add a mural and thereby circumvent the procedure of HPC, it can do it. And the reason it can do it is because it's an act of council, right? Council, of course, has the ability to actually tell HPC you no longer exist. So we gotta remember, council's much more powerful than HPC in their regulatory body. So that's why we're allowed to do this without getting the COA or
I mean,
anything.
I've got the one I sent out there.
Yeah.
Has everybody seen it?
Sure, absolutely.
Did you guys want to see the mural? Let's say we got some copies of it.
Got copies right here.
I'm just asking a general category, an animal, a tree,
No. It brings all the aspects of what United Way offers to the public.
United Way grant.
They help with reading programs, food programs, as Terry said, youth education.
Right, senior services and, you know, just a variety of assistance to the organizations trying to provide that assistance to those segments of our community.
So it's like you can, it's
So the windows, part of that mural, or those what's already there?
Those are
Those
already
windows
there.
are already there. That's part of windows.
You go over there enough, or you just looking for?
You could have a park doing this local preservation because it's so statutory.
They were, I just can't really tell that's the same one.
They
Pat,
are.
now you know, she's just looking for the front door.
No, I know. Gets there as fast as she can. And I know you don't see it coming out of there.
Well, that goes without saying. So, yeah, as the member of council going ahead and introducing this to the group this evening, can we have a motion to go ahead and proceed with that and get a formal vote so that we can proceed?
I would make the motion to give them the money to
Thank you, Renee.
Is there a second?
United Way is spending over $12,000 to beautify this part of town.
I'll second
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
it. No.
Opposed?
Opposed.
One. Anybody else?
No, I appreciate it, folks, and I'm certainly down for an hour. Thank you.
Okay, United Way mural. It is possible we could use like for snow plowing with the tip, as I was sitting here thinking of some things. As far as the cemetery goes, we could use tip money for snow plowing and things like that for public safety in there. We do snow plow it now on occasion when they call and they need something. That's another reason why we wanted to go ahead and put it in the city. I want to make sure after, you know, the people that are up here now, things getting followed the way that we got them going, so everything's getting taken care of. But anyway, next up, public comment. Nobody? Yep.
James Whitelock of Whitelock's Tavern.
Yes.
Noticed or just found out that our lovely Farmer's Fair, we're gonna bring in a Lawrenceburg bar, Lawrenceburg business to host a beer garden. Which, longtime resident of Aurora, Indiana, I'm sure we're not the first ones to ever want a beer garden in this Farmer's Fair, and it's always been turned down. I also understand that it isn't you guys, that it is the Lions Club that's done this. I know that I've got a liquor license for the beer garden, and it's got to be signed off. I don't understand how this slipped. I mean, and it's not even me that I'm worried about. We're going to lose the Legion. Legion probably will make, don't get me wrong, I feel that the Farmer's Fair is only going to prolong the inevitable for the Legion. It's just, you know, no different than the VFW shutting its doors. But I feel this is kind of a spit in the face. It's spit in the face of a lot of people. I can't believe nobody actually showed up to this meeting today. I didn't hear about it until a couple days ago. I found out when I seen a post on Facebook that Proof 124, I think is the name, Ice House, and Hebron, Kentucky Bar and Grill is what's going to do our beer garden. Again, I don't feel that I deserve it. I'm a 2-year business owner here in Aurora, Indiana. I haven't earned that keep yet. But the Legion, the Moose, the Eagles, Tim Miller's, these 3 places just had major floods in this town. Where's our people? Where's somebody step up and say, hey, wait a second, how did this get through? I mean, I don't know that that's fair, and nobody would do that. They was going to allow a beer garden here. This is something that's been turned down. I'm sure I'm not the first one to ever say, hey, let's do a beer garden at the Farmer's Fair. I don't know a lot about this stuff. I'm brand new at business. I'm just learning. You know, I didn't know nothing about it. I fell out of place when I walked in this meeting. I've never been to something like this in my life. So, where's our voice? I mean, we're not going to know everything that's going on. Nobody even got a bid. Nobody even got asked. I mean, and the funny thing is we have reached out. I've reached out to every club that's in this town that's been here for a very long time. I've also reached out to Lions Club. I've reached out to the Aurora Farmers Fair Committee. They're trying to say that they asked the Legion, they asked the Lions Club, they asked the Moose. I've contacted everybody at all 3 of them places. Nobody's asked nobody. Nobody knew nothing about it in the bar industry. Again, it's not necessarily for White Rocks Tavern, but what's the point? What's the point to be a part of the community if I'm not going to have no vacuum? It'd be best for me to sell off and go on down to Lawrenceburg, because then I can get back into Aurora. That's, to me, that just kind of blows my mind. And again, it's new. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But how is Lawrenceburg coming to Aurora, especially a company that sits directly beside their Fall Fest, directly beside their music on the river? You know, is it gonna hurt my business personally? Nah, my customers are pretty loyal. You know, they'll come in and I think we'll do real well for this. So I personally don't want it, but one day I would like it. And you know what I mean? If that's what we're gonna do, give it to the guy we know, give it to the people, you know. There's just, it seems like something shady here, and I'd like to be a part, you know what I mean? So if I gotta come down here and sit in a meeting and get my name out there, man, I'm willing to do it. I gotta volunteer for Main Street, I'll do whatever I gotta do. I wanna be a part of the community, I'm brand new to this, you know what I mean? But I definitely don't wanna be overlooked when it comes to something important like the Farmer's Fair. I've been coming to this fair for 47 years, except, 46, because I got grounded one time. Because my grades weren't good at South Dearborn High School, so my mom wouldn't let me come to the Farmer's Fair. And I still let her know about it, you know what I mean? So I don't get how we didn't get even an option. I get it, maybe they were best suited. I'm cool with that. But nobody can come down and talk to us. Nobody talked to the Legion. Nobody talked, and like I said, the Legion's gonna shut down. It's a good organization. It's not a bad organization. It comes, but they're gonna struggle. If they don't have the Farmer's Fair this year, I'd say they probably will make it 9 months. And I don't know that for sure, but I know that's the word on the street in the bar industry. They're struggling. Let's keep pushing. They're gonna set a beer garden a quarter of a block away from the Legion. That's not gonna hurt them. 2 beers not being sold at the Eagles. All that's gonna hurt. These guys had months off from a flood. Everybody knows that. We're all set here. I don't get how we got passed up on this opportunity again. And I understand it's the Lions Club, it ain't the council. Where's our voice? Where's the people that's getting to hear this stuff and saying, hey, there ain't no way. I heard there's 50 members down here. There ain't no way 50 people sat there and not a single one of them thought, nobody's reaching out to an Aurora company? I mean, what are we doing?
Is this a fact? I mean, is it a validated fact that that's happening?
Always. I mean, it's
Well,
Facebook.
here's what's going on. I've talked to them. When they went into beer gardens, we planned on using, being local businesses was brought up. In the past, they have asked for all local businesses. They've asked the Moose Eagles, nobody wanted to do it. So they took it upon themselves just to go outside, when it was advised that they should go inside and stay in Aurora. So what happens is, this is a very big point of contention right now, so we've canceled the beer garden.
I think that's an excellent choice.
And a lot of it was because you did blame the city of Aurora, if you're gonna sit there and say you didn't blame us, but all on your Facebook post, all says Aurora of Indiana, and I won't read a lot of all this, but
Aurora,
in
Indiana,
both of your,
Aurora Lions Club. Yeah, I
it
think
says
somebody
Aurora,
thought-
Indiana, Aurora Lions Club. But anyway, I felt that you did blame us, so from now on, I just canceled all beer gardens. No more beer gardens at all, period. So the ones that we've had down at Gabbard and everything, done. All because of everything that's went on with this Facebook. Lions Club does a whole lot. They didn't need to get the slack that they got. Should they have came out and talked to everybody? Yeah, they should have, okay? I made that well aware of them. They understand their mistakes now. It's all taken care of. No more beer garden, no more arguing, no more fighting, no more everybody blaming everybody for everything. It's over with. Just, we'll take the toys away, put them on top of the refrigerator. No more.
That's how it was told to be handled too.
And that's exactly how it was.
It's the good old boy club's going to prevail. The little guys don't. And that's absolutely ridiculous. My post made that much leeway, and it said Aurora Lions Club. It said the city of Aurora. There's nobody knew. Nobody even suggested it. That's wrong. It's wrong, and I know it's wrong. And that's cool, because I will take the heat of this. And you know as well as I do, I will. And that's all right. Take away beer gardens. I tried it. Tried it a couple times. Nobody wanted to come down hell. I'm paying $800 off the rip just to even set it up. Get the police officer there, get the tents there. Then you have a rain day. It's out. It's gone. And I get that. I guess I just should have laid down like the rest of Aurora's going to do, and then I'll stay prevailing.
Ain't nobody said that. You've always got my
You just said
number.
that. You
You've
just
got my number. You could always have called me.
I sent you a
Have I
text
never
now.
called you and I tried to get you to do numerous ones this year?
Yeah, I felt like the first year that I lost my butt, and this year I need to focus on my business and get my outside garden going. I'm learning. I'm
Okay.
brand new.
But then I even told you
I'm a poor
this,
kid that come from Colorado Street, you know what I mean? So I get it. And
that the city would help pay for the police, city help pay for,
I did the
and we've
first
done all that
response.
this year, kids for the kids. I did one down there myself this year. You know why? Because I was supposed to do one with the Moose, and I got a license over at the Moose for serving beer, okay? I was gonna do one for a fundraiser for, not one person would help me do it. Okay, so I did it by myself down there, and I hired two of the waitresses that were off because of the flood. I gave them both $50. Gonna sell hot dogs and do it. It was gonna be a fundraiser for the Osaroff for the 6 terminally ill kids. Well, I had some other kids come along and I'm like, come on, get a hot dog, buy a hot dog, but they didn't have any money, so I give us a few hot dogs away. Ended up giving over 100 hot dogs away. I didn't sell any hot dogs because I felt bad for the kids, so we just gave them all away that night. Lost money on the deal, but I was happy with it, you know. So we are trying, and I understand how the Lions Club feels nobody wants to help with anything. But yes, should they have asked somebody? Yes, they should have, okay?
You know as well as I know that the Moose Lodge, the Eagles Lodge, the Legion, they run just like the Lions. People are appointed.
I get
Every
that.
year it changes.
The
So if
Lions
they
Club
asked
should have
something
been asked.
5 years ago, that man might not even be alive no more. So you're gonna tell me that they didn't think to ask the next guy in charge? Maybe that guy didn't want to put effort in raising money for their business. But Tim Miller, they didn't ask Tim Miller. He was
Tim
in
Miller,
flood.
Tim
Now-
Miller did one this year and he bailed out halfway through and then complained because we blocked the streets. It took away his
I
business.
love when I
Okay,
try.
so
I try.
there, as far as Tim Miller goes, there you go for him, and you can tell him that. 'Cause I'm not real happy with Tim about the way he treated Lexi that day, so much for Tim
I don't know
Miller.
Tim Miller, it's nothing about that.
I know Tim Miller, grew up with him my whole life.
I don't, I mean, again, I'm brand new. to
No, I
this,
do.
Brand new, it kind of hurts my heart knowing that I've lived here all my life too. And I guess I ain't got a voice, and I guess I probably won't, from the sound of it, I won't ever have a voice.
I'm not gonna have people arguing and fighting over each other. It's not the Hatfield McCoy, it's not gonna be another football, whether we want grass or we want turf field. Everybody's up in arms over this. I'm not gonna have it. If we're gonna fight over it, we're just not gonna do it at all.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair. So
I mean,
if everybody gets along down the road, yeah, we may back install it, but as right now, there's gonna be none. And that's, I'm not gonna put up with it.
I get it.
Yes.
I mean, I personally won't push for it again. I'll keep.
Well,
my
and if
mouth
we
shut.
do it, I hope you do.
I'll stay in my little corner.
Yeah, you
I'll
can
pray to
feel that
God
way all you
Nothing from this affects my business is what I'll pray for.
That's fine.
Mayor, not to diminish what he has to say, but isn't the ownership of Proof and Hoosier Ice House owned the VFW in town?
Yeah.
Isn't it the same situation? I mean, they have the kind of the ideal spot next to our porch there in our entertainment venue. And isn't that one of the things that maybe they're trying to incubate to get them to move a restaurant down here? That's what I thought.
I heard it's for sale.
Well, it
Nope,
might
it's
be for
not.
sale.
It's not for sale.
I just think that might be a little piece of this.
It is, but Jamie's got a solid point there. They should have asked somebody.
But it's
It
not
should have
like-
been done local when it was advised that they do it local, okay? It didn't happen that way, and here we stand today. So, but thank you, Brett and Jamie. You do have a valid point on that. Not trying to take that away at all. I just don't want to see people fighting. That's, through everything I'm trying to build here, all of a sudden, one little hiccup tries to get everybody fighting with each other. I'm not all about that. We're either gonna get along or we're not gonna do it at all, period.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm probably older than a lot of people here. I remember back in the 60s and stuff, when we go to the county fair, and we would go to the beer garden, well, by the beer garden, and everybody would comment, there was always in trouble, all that. I didn't think we had one here because it was for the kid, the fair was. And they didn't want that around, it's just like when you go up to the county fair, they had the hoochie coochie show and all that stuff at the time. And I just thought at that time.
Which county was this?
Dearborn County.
Yeah, this was our county, by God.
All about the support.
I remember peeking under that tent, but anyway.
We'll talk
Just
about that later.
for my own notes.
Sure said that hoochie coochie.
Didn't have one, because it was just sort of like, in Delta, they didn't have around the kid. And I used to help close up the farmer's fair back in the
$76,000.
Do we have to peep show?
I think one thing to think about for council is something we brought up about a year ago, the DORA, the designated outdoor refreshment area. During something like this, it could be something to where you could say, look, the Legion has the ability to sell beers, and then people can walk out and watch the Vandals perform. That was kind of part of the idea. We don't have a DORA. I was asked about it by a gentleman that was at the music event. He was asking, he said, hey, do you guys have like a DORA? Can I go to like a restaurant and get a drink to walk around and watch all the performance? And I said, nah, we don't really have that. Now, if you go to some places, maybe they will. But it's kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, take it out with the cup. But it's one of those things, I mean, it's something to consider that, it could help these businesses to have that option.
There are pluses and minuses with
And
the DORA.
there are.
So you have events down here, who's got a liquor license? You got the Mexican place over here, they have to walk a quarter of a mile to get a beer and then go back. And that's why we do that there. Wine walks, they'd take away our wine walks we have to work, because they'd have to have a liquor license to do the wine serving now. I've watched Lawrenceburg do it for a while, and I hear all the complaints going on with them. Businesses, the people work there aren't real happy with it because they run out of cups because somebody will buy a beer and they throw the cup away and then they go in back and get another beer in. So there's pluses and minuses with that. I did kick it around this year even, after watching Lawrenceburg do it, like see how it's going to work. It doesn't work for us right now. If the VFW had something, we had more businesses that served alcohol, it'd be an option. But as of right now, I don't see it working for us. It would be nice. I get it. It would be nice. The only time it would work right now, it would be for the Legion. But other
We
than
could
that-
look at the option of having a DORA only during the farmer's fair.
Yeah, you can limit it to certain
You can
times.
do that.
Good.
You can do that. You can designate where it's gonna be, you can designate where it
Well,
is.
we talked about that too, and I don't mean to drag the door into this whole conversation, because, good point about, when they have a big event like this, that the whole community's gonna be laying on top of, it's kind of, how do we get the most support to the community businesses? The other argument with the door during Farmer's Fair was, well, you turn it on, you turn it off, well, people don't know exactly when am I allowed to do this, when am I not? And part of the when not to was the Farmer's Fair. Don't do it during that. So, like Pat said, there's a lot that goes into that conversation outside of this conversation, but I really don't want to end this evening with, just as the mayor said, that nobody ought to be pointing fingers, yelling back and forth about any of this. Nobody had any nefarious ideas at the Lions Club, I'm sure, when this comes up. But, I'm a member of the SAL at the Legion too, and you can bet our antenna went way up hearing this news. Just because, we as an organization, we've got a new commander. As Jamie said, this turns over periodically, and that gentleman's poured a lot of his own time, heart and soul into this, and he's pulling a few of those Legionnaires, but they're getting older, so a lot of us SAL members are jumping in to try to help with that too. We want to see our organization do well. Everybody wants to do well during the Farmer's Fair, and with all the people that come into town over those 4 days, there's no reason why you can't. There's no reason why you can't. So, this is kind of unfortunate that there's been any hard feelings over how this whole idea comes to light or how it came to land, but I sure don't want to end this evening with any back and forth of, any of this. Anybody that's here, anybody that's got an opinion about it, has an opinion because they care about it. And maybe we don't agree about it, but as it stands now, the mayor said, we're not going to do it this year, and we'll have a fair, and we'll revisit what it looks like then going on past this. I know that's a suck answer. I'm sorry, but that's kind of where we are with it. So.
Yeah, it's over, so there we have that. Anything else?
I just wanted to remind everybody about Thursday is Patriot Day, and we're having an event at Gabbard Park at 7 o'clock. So we appreciate
Thursday
everyone
at
coming
7?
out. Thursday at 7.
Make sure to tell Greg not to water the grass.
Michelle's been in charge of the weather all week long. It's gonna be 20 and 70.
Yeah, for
Every
9/11,
day.
yeah. You got, yeah, you should, I sent it to Josh, so he should have sent it out, but maybe not. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? Yes. No.
I had two questions. First one for Ben. I wasn't gonna bring up all go for the budget, but would there any possible way in the future, just not here, but to have two part-timers maybe for the fire department in the future? If we were to annex and possibly put housing, which I don't know how it's gonna work, up here on Woodlawn, you know, more people coming in, and, I mean, you early report, you know, every month and yearly, he's busy, or the fire department's busy. Is there any possible thing in the future maybe for that? In this life, all things are possible. I will say, I don't know that any of that has been discussed at an operational level yet. However, I don't think that it's a secret that there is a push towards a professionalization of fire service in the county. And that's coming from, you know, the State House down is they're really pushing for that kind of thing. As of now, we haven't discussed that yet, but you know, that is kind of the push. That's the desire for, you know, who was our rep for so long? Randy Fry. Randy Fry. His big thing was fire districts. He was really wanting to see that, and it just never really took off during his time, but I know that that's still an idea that's out there. So, short answer, not yet. Well, I just didn't know, that's what I'd ask, because, I mean, I did 10 years in the fire department, of course, it was 20-some years ago, but I don't know how it was then, I don't know how it is now, it's totally different.
Go up there and volunteer now, they can use you.
I got enough time. I just show up at fire, boom.
Yeah, you make it there.
Second question is, the house next door got painted, and it looks better than it did in years, of course. But the gentleman painted it, done a good job from what I see. I hired him to cut my tree, he done great. But kind of wondering, who gave the okay to put the junk truck on the street that didn't have tags, if I get wrecked?
The okay to put the truck there without a tag was asked by me, and I said, yes, you can put a tag, or go put it there, because they were only going to use it for painting the house. The police were told this and everything else. But when I called him and I told him, I said, what you failed to mention to me was the truck doesn't have a front end or a windshield in it.
Right.
So I told him, get it out of here. So he did, he got it out that day. He said he failed to mention the part with the no front end and the no windshield in it. So yeah, that was
It's a noticeable oversight.
yeah. I saw the truck, I'm like, what's wrong with it? I go and looked at the front of it, there wasn't a half of a front of it. And from what I understand, I think they brought the thing in on a record.
They did, yes.
Well, because it's Kenny's truck.
Yeah.
And it's in town.
Well, I talked to Kenny, and after I got done talking with Kenny, it was gone.
And we sat there one day.
I didn't see it until after the second day or so, Melvin, but as soon as I called him, he had it out of here that day.
The utility board meeting was put in like a day or so before that. So it's on Facebook. You can see when it's delivered.
As soon as I saw it, it was gone. The front end. I didn't see the front end. You'd have made one of your videos and showed it on there, I would have saw it, because I watch your videos. I'm one of your biggest fans.
I come real close to doing it, but I didn't do it.
I know. I heard the one when you was coming down here to show it, and you missed it, because he got it out the day before. I watch your videos.
And I appreciate you getting a stop sign put in on Railroad Avenue also.
Yeah, well, it was a valid spot, it needed it, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
I live in a bad area, and plus the truck sign, that really helped out, appreciate it. I mean, it just, for safety, everybody sees that, and I do video a lot around town, yes. But I'm not trying to hinder or I'm trying to make it
Well, that was in the plans this year too, until the flood hit, and then we just ran out of time.
You got a budget for that? I mean,
It comes, there are budget, yeah, it just depends on what, I mean, there is not a special budget for it, but we
No,
can
I
do.
mean, I'd be willing to stand there and try to bridge on Saturdays. Be great to get money to cut the tree, when you come across that black bridge, you see Bill Forest, because that's what it's basically known for.
Well, that was the plan, and then the flood hit, and all the time went there, and it put us back about a month, and I don't think they really even got caught up on the grass this year. But it was a plan to get done. I did, and I even called the tree trimmer, and he told me it was too much work. But we were gonna cut them ourselves, but we just ran out of time.
I messaged you about the school zone up by the school, having a painting on the roads. Can we do that? We did years ago for St. John's.
That'd be something we'd bring out in front of the Board of Works, but we can talk about it.
I mean, I know we did with, because I had Donnie do it years ago too, it was there. But there's no markings on the roads at the school zone, as really it should be. And it's on the school and
Well, just a preschool now, isn't it?
No.
No, it's St. John's.
Preschool up to
St.
eighth
John's.
grade.
Where?
At St. John's.
Oh, St. John's. I thought you was talking about St. Mary's.
No.
Which they actually have a school too, though.
Yeah,
School.
high school.
They have a high school there too,
Yeah.
at St. Mary's.
Thought they all went to St. Lawrence.
So we actually have
There's a high
two
school
schools.
there.
and-
Yeah.
We move around so
Yeah,
much.
they
I
have a
can't
high
keep
school.
track of it. Yeah, we can bring it up at Board of Works.
Speaking of safety, is there an update on the Woodlawn project, or is that too early for that? Like, it's not come to the expiration date at the next report, or what is the status?
Next Monday.
Next,
Planning meets next week.
okay.
Debbie, I thought you had something. You're scratching your nose.
No,
Or Brenda.
that's my business.
I'm sorry. All right, anybody else got anything else? Okay, no, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.